Hello and welcome to the Daily Millwall for Saturday, the 30th of December 2023. In today's Millwall news, the appeal for George Saviiles' red card has been rejected. This is from southernnews.co.uk. George Saviiles' 3-game suspension stands after Millwall's appeal against his red card is rejected. The Lions were hoping to get the controversial decision overturned, but were unsuccessful. George Saviiles will miss Mill's next 3 games after an appeal against his red card was rejected. The midfielder was shown a straight red by referee Dean Whitestone as he tackled Norwich's Jonathan Rowe on the halfway line last night. The 20-year-old had been racing away on a counter-attack before being taken down by Saviiles. Mill held on for the 1-0 win, but will now lose their influential midfield man for league games against Bristol City, Middlesbrough next month, and the FA Cup third round match against Leicester City in between. So, not that bad, because that FA Cup game, I don't think a lot of people really care about it, to be honest. So, good that he doesn't miss 3 league games, because we certainly need every little bit of help that we can get in the league. So, silver linings, dear. The Lions had appealed the length of the ban to the FA, but did not win their case. Some fans felt Saviiles was hard done by with the type of tackle he committed, a play deliberately stopping a counter-attack with a cynical foul, sometimes resulting in a yellow card, a point made by both Norwich boss David Wagner and Lions head coach Joe Edwards after the game. But it is possible the force of the challenge counted against the 30-year-old. His suspension coincides with the continuing injury absence of Casper de Noor, meaning Millwall now will be without 2 of their top midfielders for parts of January. Indeed. And another injury as well. More on that later. Saviiles had previously missed the away trip to Cardiff City earlier this month after picking out 5 yellow cards in separate games. Last night marked Saviiles' first sending off for Millwall in 174 appearances and just the second red card of a professional career that has spanned 451 appearances for multiple clubs. It also ended the Lions' incredible 141 game stretch without a red card in Championship games, a run that began in January 2021 following Murray Wallace's sending off in a 2-1 home defeat to Coventry City. So there you go. Like I said, we got our Millwall back. We got a red card in a league game. Now, following on from that win against Norwich City, we have the South London Press's takeaways from that game. LondonNewsOnline.co.uk. Richard Corley's takeaways from Millwall's 1-0 win over Norwich City then delights as defensive still impressives. Millwall made it back-to-back den wins in a 1-0 victory over Norwich City on Friday night. Richard Corley's takeaways from that match. Rock solid wall. The Lions have kept 3 clean sheets in a row, and more to the point, haven't really looked like conceding on too many occasions during that sequence. It took until the 69th minute for Matija Sarkit to be called into a save, tipping him over Sam McCallum's shot, and the visitors had an XG of 0.59. So there you go, we kept them limited, didn't we? And that is the 3rd game in a row that Millwall have restricted the opposition, with QPR posting an XG of 0.59 as well. Cardiff only managing 0.28 in the fixture in South Wales. Head coach Joe Edwards had a highly experienced back 5 for the visit to Norwich, and they used their savvy to nullify Norwich. Costly tactical foul. The only negative to come out of last night was the red card for George Saviiles, which set to sideline the midfielder for the next 3 matches. The Millwall midfielder slid in to trip John Rowe and deny Norwich a dangerous counter in the 88th minute after Ryan Longman had lost possession. It was a big call by referee Dean Whitestone, with that kind of tactical foul usually only meriting a booking. From a personal perspective, I like to see players punished more heavily for those types of challenges. It would mean that less attacks are cynically halted, depriving us of more goals and entertainment. But, and this really is important, it has to be something that is applied across the board. With the current rule, Saville was really unlucky to be dismissed. It was a similar kind of foul that saw Jed Wallace red carded against Burton in 2017. Millwall were unsuccessful in appealing that one and described the FA as archaic at the time. If the South Londoners had not held on to their lead against Norwich, then I'm sure Edwards would have been more outspoken about the Saville incident, and he said he was keen to praise the performance of his players in the atmosphere generated by the fans. Whitestone was far more lenient with Ashley Barnes. The Norwich striker pushed his luck after tangling with Jake Cooper, gripping hold of Jake Cooper on the turf to earn him a booking, then carrying on by using his arm to push away Saville and George Saviiles. City boss David Wagner hastily subbed off Barnes moments later. Imaku encourages. Edomu Imaku started the last 2 matches for the Lions, and his display against Norwich surely means that he will add to the sequence at Bristol City on New Year's Day. His partnership with Brook Norton Cuffy down the right was a real handful for the Canaries, and Angus Gunn had to be alert to turn over a venomous second-half attempt by the Republic of Ireland under-21 international. Maku's pace is such a good outlet for the Lions, especially paired with dynamism of Norton Cuffy down the right, and that new long-term contract he signed recently looks a really sensible move as they have tied down a youngster with big potential. Yeah, it's funny that, isn't it? How as soon as he signs that deal, they start playing him. Isn't that funny? Well, yeah, isn't that funny? Did someone say to him, well, are they trying to sign him to a contract, and then, well, are they doing that? Because we know they do that. Because they've messed other players around, haven't they? He was also involved in Tom Bradshaw's goal, holding the ball and releasing it at the perfect time. Norton Cuffy to send in a low cross, which saw the Mill front man slide in to gleefully convert. Norton Cuffy, a strong player of the year contender. There is plenty of football left to be played in the Championship season, but Norton Cuffy is already looking like he could end up being Mill's Player of the Year. It's not just that the Arsenal only is so effective going forward, but also defensively he's looked very assured against the likes of QPR's Ilias Chair and Leicester's Steffi Mavididi. I'm not sure about that, to be honest. Player of the Year contender, certainly. At the moment, doubtful. Yeah, I'm not too sure about that. But we'll see. It's far too early for that. We're only halfway through the season. Now we've got this from londonnewsonline.co.uk, the South London Press's online website. An advert for Costa Coffee. If it's good enough for Ryan Leonard, it's good enough for you. Ryan Leonard, Millwall full of belief. It was a proper atmosphere at the Den for Norwich win. Ryan Leonard reckons the Millwall are full of confidence after back-to-back championship wins and a third clean sheet on the bounce. The Lions beat Norwich City 1-0 last night to end 2023 on a high. The atmosphere in the changing room's nice, said Leonard. 2 wins in 3 days is something we've been working hard towards. It is a result, and it's really due to all the hard work that's been put in. It's a win that's been coming. We've been a lot more solid defensively, and there have been moments on the counter-attacking position where we've created some really good chances. Everyone knows how the Den can be. When the fans get behind you, they can be the extra man. It was one of those where it was a really good atmosphere on Friday night. It gives you that belief after getting a win after a long time without one. It's a proper Friday night at the Den. We've been close the last few weeks. We started to find our feet a little bit more. We didn't have a lot of possession, but we created a lot of chances. We were a lot more careful on the ball and played some good stuff. Millwall will be without George Saviiles on New Year's Day trip to Bristol City after his red card bringing down John Rowe to prevent a City counter-attack. Saville will be banned for the next 3 matches. Yeah, that's confirmed. So we've got Ryan Leonard talking about that, and Ryan Leonard says, it was one of those where Sav's tried to make a last-ditch tackle for the ball. I don't know how the referees perceived it. We all know Sav. He's a wholehearted player who gives 100%. He's tried to nick the ball and completely missed it, going down to 10 men. We saw the game out relatively well. We restricted them to a few crosses and corners at the end. The Lions have also restricted Cardiff, QPR and Norwich to very few openings. Just belief, said Leonard, when asked why it's clicked defensively. The games before that were just incidents where we conceded out of nothing, The Huddersfield game was a last-minute penalty. The game before that against Sunderland was a penalty as well. We've been there or thereabouts defensively. The strikers and wingers put a hell of a shift in tonight, so it's not just us lads at the back. The ones ahead have set a real foundation, and then on the regain, they've really hurt teams as well. A lot of credit goes to them. So there you go, Ryan Leonard, giving credit to others when it should be heaped upon him. He's a massive player for us. He's done really well since he came into the team, and we have more words from him. This is from southernnews.co.uk. They've both got a hell of a future in the game. Ryan Leonard excited by the potential of two of his Millwall teammates after another strong showing against Norwich. Brook Norton, Cuffy and Naomi Maku combined for Millwall's goal and have both enjoyed a strong December. Ryan Leonard is backing Brook Norton, Cuffy and Naomi Maku to have eye-catching careers after both continue to impress for Millwall. Norton, Cuffy on loan from Arsenal and just 19 years old, has 2 goals and 2 assists in his last 10 games and has turned in a number of impressive performances of late from the right-hand side. Meanwhile, Maku, 20, has started back-to-back matches and demonstrated his exciting ability going forward against both Queen's Park Rangers and Norwich. The pair combined for the goal that was finished off by Tom Bradshaw to give Millwall a morale-boosting 1-0 win over the Canaries last night. And speaking after the game, Leonard revealed his excitement over their potential. He said, they both got a hell of a future in the game. Brook's been excellent all season. He did well at Coventry last year and he's hit the ground running. Edomu's had 2 starts in a row now, which is amazing for him. Boxing Day, he was man of the match. He played really well, and I think the second one can always be a harder one to get going. But today I thought he was excellent. But excellent in a different way, to be fair. We didn't have much of the ball, so obviously we were trying to communicate to him behind the ball where to go, and he was excellent. And especially on regains, both of them really hurt them down that side in the first half, especially. It wasn't just those two. It wasn't just those two that impressed last night, with many Millwalls players putting in a shift to deliver back-to-back wins. Reflecting on his strong week for the Lions, Leonard said, the atmosphere in the changing room's nice. 2 wins in 4 days is something we've been working hard towards, and its result is due to hard work that everyone's put in. It's back-to-back wins that's been coming for the last few games. We've been a lot more solid defensively, and I think we've shown in moments on the counter-attack and in possession where we've created some really good chances in the game. And it was a really good atmosphere in the changing room after the game. We were all, obviously really pleased. The Den really got going in the second half through an incident-packed 45 minutes, which saw Ashley Barnes assume the role of pantomime villain. He's behind you, and he can fuck off. Before George Saviiles was sent off, Leonard 31 said, I think everyone knows how the Den can be when the fans get behind you. Yeah, we're behind you, and they can be an extra man. It was a really good atmosphere on a Friday night, and it was a chance to put in another performance, especially after Boxing Day. It just gives you the belief getting those wins after a long time without a win. And it created a really good atmosphere. It was a proper Friday night at the Den, I would say. On Savile's red card, he said, we've already read that from the previous story. So while results haven't always been there, Mill's performances have generally been improving since their 3-1 defeat at Ipswich Town last month. Leonard said, I think as the gaffer said, we've been close the last few weeks. We drew with Huddersfield in the last minute and we drew with Stoke. But I think in those games, we're starting to find our feet a little bit more, and sometimes you've just got to try and get a win. And we did against QPR, which creates a little bit of belief and confidence. And I think we showed that tonight. We didn't have a lot of possession, but we created some really good chances. We were a lot more careful on the ball. We played some good stuff and created the better chances in the game. Leonard has played all 90 minutes against Stoke City, QPR, and Norwich in the space of 6 days. Asked how his body's holding up, he said, okay, I think I'll be able to tell you in the morning. I've never known it to have this many games in such a short period of time, but we've won 2 on the bounce and 4 unbeaten now. So I think it's only helping us rolling from one game to the other. Yes, isn't that because they don't have any training to do? It makes you think, what the fuck do they do in training? That when they don't do it, they actually play better. Bizarre, isn't it? Absolutely bizarre. Absolutely bizarre. Do we need a training ground? Why? Let them train at home. Now, I told you injuries. We've got Saville suspended. We've got Denor injured. We now have Wes Harding injured. He will not be playing against Bristol City. That was confirmed by Joe Edwards. This is from southwarknews.co.uk. Wes Harding to miss New Year's Day game against Bristol City as Joe Edwards reveals when he expects the Millwall defender to return. The centre-back has started the last 15 games but missed last night's entertaining win over Norwich City. So what's going on here then? Well, Wes Harding will miss Millwall's clash against Bristol City with a hamstring strain. Well, that's not good. The defender felt his hamstring at half-time in a 2-0 Boxing Day win over Queen's Park Rangers but played the rest of the game. But he missed last night's 1-0 win over Norwich due to the issue and will also be absent on Monday. Joe Edwards is hoping the 27-year-old will return soon. He said after last night's game, Wes felt his hamstring at half-time against QPR, carried on. We got a scan the other day after, and it's just a slight issue with his hamstring that will see him out for Bristol City. The Leicester FA Cup game will be touch and go, but it's probably not too much further than that. Harding arrived on the free transfer in July after he left Rotherham, following 3 years in Yorkshire. Having initially struggled to break into the team, the centre-back got his chance due to injuries in defence and started in a win over Plymouth Argyle in October. He has started every match since and has impressed in the back line. Harding also found an unexpected scoring streak earlier in the season when he struck in 3 out of 4 games and hit the crossbar in the only match in that sequence when he failed to score. The centre-back had been the only player to have played every minute in Edwards' first 9 games in charge. Brook Norton Cuffy is now the only player to have started every game of the Lions head coach's 10 matches as boss. So there you go. Bit attritional. We're losing players. We've got a game to not tomorrow, the day after, New Year's Day. I can't feel like, is it 1 o'clock off? I can't remember. I'll tell you tomorrow in tomorrow's videos when you come back. We'll preview the New Year's Day game. And on that note, thank you for watching and goodbye.